Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you guys my complete self-tape audition setup that I have at my house and just show you guys what I do and what tools do I use to film my tapes and my self-tape auditions, callbacks, all that great stuff. So let's do this. I will make sure to link everything in the description box below if you guys are interested in purchasing them. They may or may not be an affiliate link. I'm not sure yet. I gotta get that set up. So hopefully by the time I get that arranged, I'll disclaim everything in the description box. Let's get started. Okay, so first I'm going to start with my soft boxes. You guys, you'll see on almost all of the instructions that are given by casting directors, and they say lighting and sound and making sure we can see you with no distractions in the background are like the key to making sure the quality of your self-tape is good. So I purchased these years ago. These are some soft boxes from Amazon. At the time, I don't know right now how much they are with inflation, but at the time, these, I think for the set of two, it was $50, maybe not even that. I have two set up. As you can see, I have the other one there. I have the other one turned on, this one turned off. But usually, depending on the tone of the show and the audition, if it's a commercial or not, depending on the audition in of itself, what type of audition it is, I will play with the lighting, which I will recommend you guys to please learn about lighting. You don't have to be like an expert like grip or anything like that, but just know the basics of lighting and how to make sure that you have the most optimal lighting for your auditions and to learn the basics. Luckily, I have several photographer friends and they were able to show me a thing or two, but lighting is super, super important. All right, guys, next we have this ring light. I actually bought this ring light for TikTok. I post a lot of TikToks about Disney and stuff, as you guys probably know. But this one just was like a really cheap one. It was like $25 on Amazon. Sometimes, very rarely, I'll take this with me if I'm traveling or if I'm on vacation or something like that. Usually, like when I'm on vacation, I don't want to worry about any self-tapes or anything like that. No FOMO or nothing. So this is really cool because it has like this cute like little phone thing that you can hook your phone up to. It adjusts. I think this goes up to 64 inches if I'm not mistaken. And what's really cool is you can play with like different settings. So obviously it turns off, but then you can turn it on, make it a little bit more saturated, play with levels and the tone, go up, go down. Make it like a complete white light, go up or down. Not doing a good job in demonstrating it. But yeah, I think this is a really good investment. Like I said, I use it for TikTok. Sometimes if I'll use it for self-tapes, depending on what kind of mood I want to set for the audition and what, you know, genre of show or movie I'm taping for. So that's a good one. Now, before you guys ask, do you prefer ring light or soft boxes? I'm just starting out, or I don't have my budget to buy everything right now. Personally, I prefer soft boxes just because the ring light can be very in your face, no pun intended. Like the ring light could be very reflective. Like you could tell sometimes like in your pupils, depending how like you frame your audition. You could see like the little like reflection of the ring light in your pupil sometimes. Like I don't know if you guys can tell, like right now you see it, right? Soft boxes are a lot obviously softer in lighting. I prefer soft boxes. Ring lights, they're good to have around just in case, but for the most part, I mean, if you're gonna go ahead and start off, please get yourself a set of soft boxes because I think they're really, really great. But ring lights are perfect if you're traveling and you don't have that much space. They have like miniature ones. I don't know, I think this was like the one I have right here. Right there. That one I think is 12 inches. So my mic here, this is like a regular, like I think it's Tagstar mic I bought on Amazon. I got this recommendation from Kurt Yu. If you guys follow Kurt Yu on YouTube, it was like $30. It uses AAA batteries, if I'm not mistaken. It works perfectly. I don't plan on investing in anything more expensive than this until I like can, I guess, or until it's like necessary, unless I want to like start a podcast or something. But for the most part, this one does the job. It comes with a cute little mount, or a cute mount. Mounts are cute, right? It comes with a mount to stick to your tripod phone thingy. I don't know what the formal name of this is. So, but long story short, like, this is a perfect mic. This is pretty much all you need. You can adjust the settings here. Don't know really how to explain this other than I just haven't messed with it since I took it out of the box, and aside from turning it on or off. But this is a pretty good mic. I have no complaints. Usually my neighbors, if you live in an apartment complex like me, my neighbors upstairs, it will always be freaking loud at the most inconvenient times, and it's so annoying. So if that ever happens, really that's when I use the mic. If not, or unless like there's just a lot of action going on, because apparently my neighbors think that the entryway to my apartment is Tokyo Drift, but we're not gonna get there. We're not gonna touch on that but unless it's like rowdy or noisy or whatever, I'm not gonna use the mic. But if it is, I use the mic. Yeah, so that is the mic. Okay, so now we're gonna take a look at the tripod along with the phone stand. I use a phone. I'm taping this on an iPhone 11 Pro Max. I'm about to get the 13 or the 14, whatever we're on. I always like to keep my phones up to date if finances allow. And I'm about to invest in it. It's an investment, it's a tax write-off for me because it's my camera. So right now I'm using an iPhone 11 Pro Max. There are some cameras that I've been eyeing, not only for vlogging, but for self-tapes as well. Like I've been eyeing a couple of the Canon or the Nikon, I think it's a GX2 or something like that. I don't remember. That's probably gonna be on my list to purchase in the near future, along with an iPad. And for the most part, this is pretty much what I use. We'll start with the phone stand. Well, the iPhone is pretty much what I use. As far as the phone stand in of itself, I bought this on Amazon. It actually came with like a vlogger tripod, but I really liked it because it comes with a shoe mount for them to hook up the mic. So that's really convenient. But there are some phone stands that already come with them, or come with like an extension. I have like an extender, like a two shoe mount extender. I don't know if that's the proper terminology. But pretty much like this little thing that you see right here at the bottom, you unscrew it and it comes with it came with my tripod. You hook it on and there you have it. This is really like all I need. Is just my phone and the phone stand. So that's that. Now we're gonna get into the details of the tripod. So the tripod is very sturdy. I was the one who used to buy like cheap, like $20-$30 tripods. This one cost me $80. It's very, very sturdy. As you can see, it like extends up to like, I think it said 84 inches on Amazon. I'll make sure to link it below. I have had to replace this a couple times because for some reason, this part like breaks off. So I am trying to invest into one that, sorry if the lighting is in your face, but I am trying to invest in one that like photographers use, like professional photographers. But this one's been good so far. I mean, I think I've had it for a year without replacing it, but it's good. I really like it because, you know, it has all these knobs to adjust the camera angle and, you know, the way like to tighten the grip of the camera or whatever, you know, to adjust up or down, all that great stuff. It's a really good one. Like I said, I think this was like $80 on Amazon. Invest in a good tripod, guys. I'm serious. It makes a world of difference, and you're gonna, well, with the exception of this one, you're gonna end up saving a lot of money in the end because you're gonna have to keep, if you buy like the cheap plastic ones, you're gonna keep having to replace it. So as I did the first 2 or 3 years I started acting and self-taping. So yeah. All right, moving on to my laptop stand. All right, I couldn't really figure out the angle, the best way to shoot this from this angle. Excuse my mess on my home office space or my desk. But this is a laptop stand that I suggest that you guys purchase. This laptop stand cost me, I think, $30. As you guys know, for the most part, well, in Atlanta, it's always been a self-tape market, but since the pandemic, everything has shifted to online, virtual, self-tape, remote auditions, callbacks, etc. I've only been in person since the pandemic to an audition or callback one time. All my callbacks, all my self-tapes, everything has been, for the most part, virtual, online, self-tape, whatever. I 100% believe you should get a laptop stand, not only for your auditions, but whenever you are having that callback, or that like a online audition or whatever, you have this, because as you know, they're watching you through that camera. Definitely invest in one. Again, this was like $30. I put it together. It's really easy to put together, and I highly recommend that you purchase this. Okay, so this goes without saying, a laptop. Personally, I am team Apple, but aside from me, I mean, I'm not paid by Apple, but aside from that, like the conveniency and the easy to use mechanisms, look at me getting all fancy with my words, but the easy to use mechanisms of an Apple just works well because I have an iPhone. I tape my auditions on my iPhone. And what do? Instead of hooking up plugs and SD cards and all that stuff, what I do is I just airdrop via Bluetooth to my Mac. And that's it. I don't have to worry about plugs or storage, or, well, I do have to worry about storage because I am running, I mean, I'm not gonna talk about storage. It's just, I don't have to worry about like transferring stuff like physically. Like all I gotta do is just click the airdrop button and airdrop my tapes to the iMovie Studio, which another great convenience of having a MacBook. iMovie is the easiest movie editing software to use. I've been using iMovie to edit my auditions forever. Like honestly guys, when I changed to an Apple MacBook, I used to be a Windows girl. When I changed to an Apple, like using a MacBook, made my auditions and self-tape so much easier, more convenient, because again, you just airdrop everything. iMovie's on there. iMovie's is so great to use. It's very basic, very, very standard and basic for what you will need for your self-tapes. You don't have to buy it unless you want to. You don't have to use like these, like, you know, you don't have to use or purchase, sorry, what is that software called? Adobe or anything like that. You will never have to add like any sort of effects or anything crazy to your auditions. It's really just, you know, like edit, copy, paste, split the clip, fade out, general stuff. That's really all you need. I would definitely recommend an Apple for self-tape auditions. However, my friends, I have lots of them who use like PCs, they use laptops, and you know, they do the whole like get the SD card, transfer the files physically to the hard drive. Like that's them. I think this is a lifesaver and as such, you know, it's just such a time saver, honestly. So if you can, get the iPhone along with a Mac. Apple products are more expensive, but I think they're just more user-friendly because I don't like messing with technology. It's not my favorite. So this curtain or this sheet, this blue sheet that you see behind me is honestly a sheet that my roommate got from like Walmart, I think. We're both actresses, so it ended up working well because she had her lights and stuff and her backdrop, and I had my lights and then my other stuff. I think she told me this was like $25. We have like tapes and like command hooks to leave them up or to make them sure it sticks, and then we have push pins to like spread it out. You gotta fix that like bottom part, so ignore that. It works perfectly, guys. A blue one like this, a gray one would work. Definitely play around with the different colors and tones and what looks better for your skin tone. I find that gray and blue, because we are both women of color, those work best for us. But again, play with the tones, play with the different blues, the different grays, the different whites. I'll try to stick away from anything crazy like green or something super bright. I was in a class with a casting director, and she's like, you know, at the end of the day, you can have like a pink backdrop. Obviously, we want as little distractions as possible. We want to make sure that the focus is on you. If you're gonna go for a pink backdrop or something, and maybe you're auditioning for a Sex and the City reboot, I don't know. Like, I don't know why you would use a pink backdrop, but honestly, at the end of the day, what she was trying to say is your performance is what's most important. So just make sure that if you're gonna do anything crazy like that, just make sure that you have a solid performance. But for the most part, blue and gray, standard industry, is what's used. What does it say I'm trying to say? It's standard industry, or industry standard. There you go. It's industry standard. One thing I forgot to mention, as you guys see, there is a softbox on the floor. I learned this trick from one of my acting coaches when I used to tape with him years ago. This helps. I don't know the technicality of it. I don't know lighting. I'm not a professional like grip or anything like that. But this just helps to bring out the back, like to give some light towards the back, and it just makes your face pop. It makes the audition pop, and it also helps with graininess. Because the less light you have, the more grainy your auditions is going to be. The more light you have, the better. Natural light is always great. However, just because of like the way our windows are facing, it's very like, unless we're going to like self-tape here, which is impossible because our wall is here. It's just not going to work. So we have as much lights as possible. This really helps with making sure that your face pops. So I definitely recommend either use a ring light. There's another type of lighting, I'll make sure to put a picture of it, that my friend uses, that she also keeps in the bag, but it just helps like bring your features and accentuate your features and make you pop. Really, it looks really, really good. I don't know the technical of it. If you are a professional photographer or anything, let me know in the comments why that is, but this helps. So that's how I have it set up. So for the most part, we use a hamper. This is actually something my roommate has been doing for years. I never thought of it, but there's going to be some auditions, or a lot of auditions, that are going to be like the person sitting down, or they're over a bar, or they're whatever. If there's any time that we need like something that, you know, to put stuff on there, like let's say I had an audition yesterday, the girls are drinking wine or whatever, they're sitting at a bar. I use this to take that audition. The only downside, I don't know if it's because of the brand or the actual like thing, it's, as you can hear, it can be kind of noisy and it can be kind of a distraction. Luckily the mic does can cancel that sound out, so it's not that big of a deal. But for the most part, I mean, this is kind of what we use it for. I also kind of like to use it just to kind of have like a boundary between the camera and the lights and stuff, and then my actual scene. I don't know why mentally that helps me, but like usually I'll just like put it there, like everything behind there is being on set, and then I'm doing my work. It helps me mentally. I don't know what it is. This, I don't know how much these are. I'm assuming they're like 20, 30 bucks. But yeah, as you can hear, the only downside is it's noisy. So if you're gonna use it, or if you're gonna buy one, make sure it's a sturdy one that doesn't make a lot of noise. Or if you're gonna use it and it's like this, make sure that the noise cancels out with your mic, or on your settings and when you're editing your self-tape. Another important thing to have, sorry, I have like lint all over my hair. Another important thing to have is a phone. This is a phone that my roommate no longer uses. She upgraded to new phone, so we just use her old phone to use it as props. I'll get into the details about like props versus no props later. Long story short, F the rules. I've booked with props, but sometimes props aren't needed and people like use them for no reason. It's the whole thing, but I'll touch on that later. But for the most part, we always keep a phone handy that you can use, or something that looks like a phone. I know, like, for example, where is it? The external hard drive I have for my laptop, sometimes if I can't find that phone because I misplaced it, I'll use this as an acting phone. But yeah, always have a phone handy, because you will get you will get auditions that do, you know, they're talking on the phone, or they're like looking up something, or they're like a social media, like, you know, you just have a phone. I also would encourage, and we have started, start a prop box. We're starting a prop box, but I go out for a lot of like detective, cops, guards, you know, law enforcement. Those are like my bread and butter. So obviously, like, I've had to not only learn how to shoot a gun and the technique of it and the difference between each like gun, revolver, Glock, etc. But I need to buy actually a rubber gun, because those just really help in the auditions. I mean, I'm a cop, you know what I mean? But we would keep like my rubber gun in there, of my phone, our phone in there, any other little props that we can use for auditions, you know, things that we could just keep there. I would highly recommend that you start a prop box of things. I'm trying to think like other examples of props. I can't think of anything right now, to be honest, but yeah. You're probably wondering, why is there a T on the floor? My roommate did a casting director workshop with Erica Arbold. She's one of the big Southeastern casting directors. And she always said, you know, make sure you have a mark. Because on set, you're gonna have to go on, you know, you're gonna have to go to your mark. But not only that, because it's super important just to know, like, if you are a little bit more advanced, or if you know about like camera focus, you know, like how to adjust your camera to where it would, like if you adjust your camera to focus at a certain point or at a certain, you know, area, whatever, it's important to have a mark so you don't go out of focus, all that stuff. And also just for angling, camera purposes, technical purposes, it's good to have a mark to know, like, hey, this is where I'm gonna sit on the T. This is my angle, this is where I'm talking to. So again, angling purposes, and just so you're not like all over the place and like one frame you're like here and then another frame you're like here. Like if you're just on your mark, and again, this is kind of like how they look like, the T's are just have always been like, if you go to in person, that's kind of what they have on the foreign tape or something. But if you just set it down here, it's like, okay, now I know if I'm walking in the frame, this is my, this is where I'm gonna land. So yeah, it's technicality, helps with technicality, and also just practice, and it's important to get on your mark. So a couple other things that I didn't include, an external hard drive is super important because I bought the cheapest version of the MacBook Air. It's 128 gigabytes, and that ran up real quick. So an external hard drive, I think this was like 2 terabytes, and it was $60 on Amazon. Because a lot of auditions and callbacks are done via Zoom. Make sure you have the Zoom software ready to go and it's up to date, not like me previously where I've had Zoom callbacks and I just got too confident, and it turns out that the Zoom software in and of itself needed an update. So make sure that you have the most up-to-date version of Zoom ready to go installed on your computer. If you are using a PC, definitely like a Windows version of it, but I remember the Windows version being very like weird. I didn't like it personally, so I definitely recommend like investing in Adobe or something like that. Again, you just need the basics, but I just did not like the media editor on the PCs and the personal computers and anything that uses Windows. I just didn't like it. It was hard to use, and I always had problems when I was like trying to like process and compress the video. It was just a lot of issues. So on a standard audition, I have 2 lights set up. Occasionally I have a ring light depending on the mood of the show or movie. And then I have this on as well. And then, I mean, my mark is there, but usually I have my mark here. And yeah, that's pretty much like what my setup consists of. And aside from that, I think that is it, guys. Let me know if you want me to elaborate a little bit more on anything that I touched on today. And aside from that, I will see you guys on the next one. And I hope you guys enjoyed my tour of my at-home taping studio.